In a world full of noise, distraction, and endless scrolling, what does it mean to truly focus? Not just on tasks, but on life itself. To the Stoics, Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, focus wasn't about productivity. It was about living in alignment with nature, reason, and virtue. Epictetus taught that focus begins with knowing what's in your control. Seneca warned that wasting time is the greatest loss. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have power over your mind, not outside events. So Stoic focus isn't just mental discipline. It's moral clarity. It's choosing what deserves your attention and letting go of the rest. We lose focus because we chase what isn't ours. We react to every ping, every post, every opinion. But the Stoics knew, attention is sacred. Distraction is often a symptom of emotional disturbance. Stoics practiced dissent, choosing which impressions to accept. They trained their minds like athletes train their bodies. Focus is a form of freedom. And freedom begins with self-mastery. Here's the Stoic formula we'll explore throughout this series. Control, focus only on what you can influence. Virtue, align attention with your values. Reason, use logic to filter distractions. Presence, live fully in the moment. This isn't just philosophy, it's a way of life. And starting today, we'll build it together. Epictetus taught that the first step to clarity is understanding what you can control and what you cannot. This is the dichotomy of control, the foundation of Stoic focus. You can control your thoughts, your actions, your choices. You cannot control other people, external events, or outcomes. When you confuse the two, you suffer. When you separate them, you gain peace. Focus begins with this separation. It's not just a mental trick, it's a way of seeing the world clearly. Imagine trying to control the weather. You'd waste your energy, your time, your sanity. But if you focus on how you respond to the weather, what you wear, how you prepare, you reclaim your power. That's Stoic focus. Epictetus said, some things are up to us and some are not. Every day ask yourself, is this within my control? If yes, act with purpose. If no, let it go. This practice sharpens your attention like a blade. It cuts through noise, anxiety, and distraction. It's not easy, but it's liberating. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, yet he struggled with distraction, fatigue, and frustration, just like us. In his private journal, Meditations, he wrote to himself, concentrate every minute on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness. That's Stoic focus. It's not about multitasking or chasing productivity. It's about presence, doing one thing well. Being fully engaged with the task at hand, whether it's writing, walking, or washing dishes. Marcus believed that every moment was an opportunity to live according to reason and virtue. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He didn't complain about obstacles. He used them. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When you focus like Marcus, you stop resisting reality. You embrace it. You act with intention. You become the kind of person who doesn't just get things done, but gets the right things done in the right way. Seneca, the Roman statesman and philosopher, warned that time is our most precious resource, and the one we waste most carelessly. People are frugal in guarding their personal property, he wrote, but when it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful. Stoic focus begins with respecting time, not just scheduling it, but honoring it. Every minute you spend distracted is a minute you'll never get back. Seneca believed that a focused life is a meaningful life. To live like a Stoic is to treat time as sacred. That means saying no to what doesn't matter. That means choosing depth over speed. That means being ruthless with distractions, not because they're evil, but because they steal your life. Seneca's advice? Audit your time. Ask yourself, what did I do today that truly mattered? What did I give my attention to? What did I ignore that deserved my focus? These questions aren't just reflective, they're transformative. They help you reclaim your life one moment at a time. Distraction isn't just a productivity issue, it's a moral one. The Stoics believed that attention is a reflection of character. What you focus on reveals who you are. If you're constantly pulled by gossip, fear, or vanity, you're not just unfocused, you're misaligned with virtue. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because focus often requires ignoring what others obsess over. It means choosing substance over spectacle. To focus like a Stoic is to build a fortress around your mind. Not to shut out the world, but to filter it. You decide what enters. You decide what stays. You decide what deserves your energy. This isn't arrogance, it's discipline. It's the art of living deliberately. Every time you resist distraction, you strengthen your character. Every time you choose focus, you choose freedom. And every time you act with clarity, you honor the Stoic path. The nature of the mind, according to the Stoics, is to think clearly, act justly, and remain undisturbed by external chaos. Marcus Aurelius believed that the mind is like a fortress. It can only be breached if we open the gates. Focus, then, is the art of guarding those gates. When we allow every thought, impulse, and emotion to flood in unchecked, we lose our center. But when we train the mind to observe, to pause, and to choose, we reclaim our power. The Stoics didn't seek to suppress emotion, they sought to master it through reason. Epictetus taught that the mind must be trained daily like a muscle. He said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because true focus often looks strange to the world. It means ignoring gossip, resisting temptation, and choosing silence over noise. The Stoic mind is not passive, it's active, deliberate, and disciplined. It filters impressions, questions assumptions, and acts only when reason approves. To focus like a Stoic is to treat your mind as sacred space. You don't let just anything in. You choose what serves your nature, your values, and your purpose. Focus, for the Stoics, was not a skill to be learned, it was a virtue to be lived. It wasn't about getting more done. It was about becoming more aligned with reason and nature. Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's the essence of Stoic focus, action rooted in virtue. When you focus on what matters, you're not just productive, you're principled. You're living with intention, not impulse. You're choosing depth over distraction. Seneca believed that clarity of purpose was the foundation of a focused life. He said, to be everywhere is to be nowhere. When you scatter your attention, you dilute your impact. But when you concentrate your energy on what truly matters, your duties, your growth, your relationships, you become powerful. Stoic focus is not rigid. It's flexible but firm. It adapts to circumstances but never abandons values. It's not about perfection, it's about persistence. Every time you choose virtue over vanity, you strengthen your focus. Every time you act with reason, you build your character. And every time you resist distraction, you honor the Stoic path. The Stoics believed that impressions, those initial thoughts and reactions, are not facts. They're suggestions. Epictetus taught that we must learn to pause before accepting them. He said, don't just say you've read the books. Show that you've understood them by your actions. Focus begins with this pause. When something grabs your attention, ask, is this true? Is this useful? Is this aligned with my values? If not, let it pass. This practice is called assent, the conscious approval of thoughts. It's the Stoic filter for mental clarity. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He wrote, if someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change. That's the power of reason focus. It's not stubborn, it's discerning. It doesn't cling to ego, it seeks truth. When you train yourself to question impressions, you stop reacting and start responding. You become less impulsive, more intentional. You don't chase every thought, you choose the ones that serve your purpose. This is how Stoics protected their minds. Not with walls, but with wisdom. Focus isn't just attention, it's judgment. And judgment begins with the courage to pause. Presence is the heartbeat of Stoic focus. Seneca warned that most people live in the past or the future, but rarely in the now. He said, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. The Stoics believed that the present moment is all we ever truly have. To focus like a Stoic is to live fully in that moment. Not to rush through it, not to escape it, but to embrace it with clarity and purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, confine yourself to the present. That's not just advice, it's a way of life. When you're present, you're powerful. You're not distracted by regrets or fantasies. You're grounded in reality. You see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. Epictetus taught that presence is a form of freedom. When you accept the moment, you stop resisting life. You stop wasting energy on what's gone or what hasn't arrived. You focus on what's here. And in that focus, you find peace. The Stoics didn't chase happiness. They practiced presence. And in doing so, they found something deeper: serenity, strength, and self-mastery. Clarity for the Stoics was not just intellectual, it was spiritual. It was the result of living in harmony with nature, reason, and virtue. Marcus Aurelius believed that clarity comes from simplicity. He wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. That's the Stoic formula for focus. Strip away what's unnecessary. Speak only what's needed. Do only what's essential. When your life becomes simpler, your mind becomes clearer. And when your mind is clear, your focus becomes unstoppable. Seneca taught that clutter, mental, emotional, or physical, is the enemy of clarity. He said, life is long if you know how to use it. To use life well, you must focus on what matters. You must eliminate what distracts. You must choose quality over quantity. Stoic clarity is not about knowing everything. It's about knowing what's important. It's about seeing through illusion, resisting temptation, and acting with purpose. When you live with clarity, you don't just focus, you flourish. You become a beacon of reason in a chaotic world. And that, the Stoics believed, is the highest form of strength. Epictetus famously said, it's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. This idea is revolutionary. It means that external events, failures, insults, delays, don't actually disrupt our focus. Our interpretation of those events does. If you believe a setback is a catastrophe, your mind spirals. But if you see it as a challenge, your focus sharpens. The Stoic doesn't deny emotion. They master it by mastering thought. This is the first step to mental clarity, separating fact from opinion. To apply this, start noticing your reactions. When something grabs your attention, pause. Ask, is this the event or my judgment of it? Epictetus taught that we must train ourselves to respond, not react. That's the essence of Stoic focus. It's not passive, it's powerful. You choose your thoughts. You shape your attention. You decide what matters. This practice doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger. And strength, in the Stoic sense, is the ability to stay centered no matter what storms rage around you. The Stoics practiced a technique called assent, the conscious approval of thoughts. Epictetus believed that not every impression deserves your attention. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it belongs there. Focus begins with filtering. When something demands your attention, ask, is this true? Is this useful? Is this aligned with my values? If not, let it go. This isn't repression, it's refinement. You're sculpting your mind like an artist sculpts marble. Assent is the gatekeeper of focus. It's how you protect your mental energy from being hijacked by fear, vanity, or impulse. Epictetus said, if you want to be free, learn to say no. That includes saying no to thoughts that distract, distort, or degrade your clarity. This practice takes time, but it transforms your life. You stop being a slave to emotion. You become a master of attention. And in that mastery, you find peace, purpose, and power. Training your will is the Stoic path to inner strength. Epictetus taught that discipline isn't built in grand gestures. It's forged in daily choices. He said, practice yourself for heaven's sake in little things. That means waking up early, resisting temptation, finishing what you start. These small acts of willpower accumulate. They shape your character. They sharpen your focus. The Stoic doesn't wait for motivation. They act from principle. They do what's right even when it's hard. Your will is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But if you neglect it, it weakens. Focus requires effort. It's not automatic, it's intentional. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your will. Every time you act with purpose, you build your resilience. Epictetus believed that freedom comes from self-mastery. And self-mastery begins with training your will. One moment, one choice, one day at a time. Voluntary hardship is one of the Stoics' most powerful tools for building focus. Epictetus advised his students to practice discomfort, not to suffer, but to strengthen their minds. He said, if you wish to be good, begin by believing that you are bad. That's not self-loathing, it's humility. It's the recognition that growth requires challenge. When you choose discomfort, cold showers, fasting, silence, you train your mind to endure. You teach yourself that pain is not the enemy. Fear is. Focus thrives in discomfort. When you willingly face difficulty, you stop running from it. You stop avoiding effort. You become present, alert, and resilient. Voluntary hardship isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's how Stoics build mental toughness. It's how they stay calm in chaos. It's how they focus when others panic. Epictetus believed that the path to virtue is paved with effort. And effort, when chosen freely, becomes the foundation of strength. Routine is the scaffolding of Stoic focus. Epictetus taught that consistency is more powerful than intensity. He said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. That's the essence of routine, aligning your actions with your identity. When you build a daily rhythm, morning reflection, focused work, evening journaling, you create stability. You reduce decision fatigue. You make focus automatic. The Stoic doesn't rely on mood, they rely on method. Routine isn't rigid, it's intentional. It's a way of honoring your values through structure. When you wake up with purpose, you carry that energy into your day. When you end your day with reflection, you prepare your mind for tomorrow. Epictetus believed that greatness is built in ordinary moments, not in bursts of brilliance, but in steady practice. Your routine is your training ground. It's where you shape your thoughts, your habits, and your focus. And over time, it becomes your character. Marcus Aurelius believed that the mind is sovereign. He wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. This is the foundation of Stoic focus, mental sovereignty. No matter what happens around you, your thoughts are yours. Your judgments are yours. Your attention is yours. The world may be chaotic, but your mind can remain calm. That's not denial, it's discipline. It's the art of choosing your response. To practice this, begin each day with a reminder, I control my mind, not the news, not other people, not circumstances, just me. Marcus didn't seek to escape reality, he sought to master his perception of it. He trained himself to see clearly, act justly, and remain undisturbed. That's Stoic focus. It's not about shutting out the world, it's about standing firm within it. When you claim your mental sovereignty, you reclaim your life. Interruptions are inevitable, but how we respond to them defines our focus. Epictetus taught that external events are neutral. It's our reaction that gives them power. When someone interrupts your work, your peace, or your thoughts, the Stoic doesn't lash out. They pause. They ask, is this within my control? If not, I must accept it. If yes, I must act with reason. This mindset transforms interruptions from enemies into opportunities for practice. You don't lose focus, you refine it. The Stoic approach to interruptions is rooted in self-awareness. You notice the impulse to react, but you don't obey it. You choose your response. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are disturbed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. That estimate is under your control. When you train yourself to remain calm, to return to your task, to protect your attention, you build resilience. You become unshakable. And in that steadiness, your focus deepens. Judgment is the gatekeeper of attention. Epictetus taught that we must not accept every impression as truth. Just because something feels urgent doesn't mean it is. Just because something seems important doesn't mean it deserves your focus. The Stoic filters thoughts through reason. They ask, is this aligned with my values? Is this useful? Is this true? If not, they discard it. This isn't cold detachment, it's disciplined clarity. It's the art of choosing what matters. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He wrote, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. That means your focus shapes your character. If you constantly judge things as threats, annoyances, or distractions, your mind becomes chaotic. But if you judge with wisdom, your mind becomes calm. Stoic focus is not just about attention, it's about discernment. You don't just look, you see. You don't just react, you reflect. And in that reflection you find strength. Simplicity is the secret weapon of Stoic focus. Epictetus lived with few possessions, not because he hated comfort, but because he valued clarity. He believed that complexity breeds distraction. The more you own, the more you manage. The more you chase, the more you scatter your attention. Stoic simplicity isn't minimalism for aesthetic reasons. It's a moral choice. It's the decision to focus on what truly matters and let go of the rest. Seneca echoed this idea. He said, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Craving divides the mind. Simplicity unites it. When you simplify your schedule, your space, your goals, you create room for focus. You stop multitasking and start monotasking. You stop chasing and start choosing. The Stoic doesn't seek less for the sake of less. They seek less for the sake of depth. And in that depth, they find peace, purpose, and power. Epictetus believed that peace is not found in escape, but in mastery. He said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. That's the formula for inner peace. Focus only on what you can influence. Let go of the rest. This isn't apathy, it's wisdom. It's the courage to accept reality and the strength to act within it. When you stop trying to control everything, you start controlling yourself. Inner peace is the foundation of Stoic focus. When your mind is calm, your attention is sharp. When your emotions are steady, your actions are clear. Marcus Aurelius practiced this through daily reflection. He reminded himself that the universe is vast and his role is small, but meaningful. He didn't seek control, he sought clarity. And in that clarity he found peace. The Stoic doesn't chase serenity, they cultivate it. Through reason, discipline, and focus they build a mind that is free. Morning reflection was Marcus Aurelius' secret weapon for focus. Before the day began, he would write in his journal, reminding himself of his duties, his values, and the challenges ahead. He didn't wait for clarity to arrive. He created it. He wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive." That's not just poetic, it's practical. Gratitude sharpens focus. It reminds you what matters. To follow Marcus' lead, start your day with intention. Ask, what will I face today? What virtues will I need? What distractions must I resist? This isn't just journaling, it's mental preparation. It's how Stoics armor their minds before battle. Morning reflection isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It sets the tone. It clears the fog. It aligns your thoughts with your purpose. And in that alignment, you find strength, clarity, and focus. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more videos.